got other spares that are sitting there. And hang on, we'll just take them one at a time. Motivate others to make better long-time choices towards the future. Things about the course. What is the course? You know, just objectively, what do you remember? Just write a few down. And again, more than one word, no more than 6, visible from the back of the room. Personally, confronting and inspiring. Deep and safe and connected and hopeful. The people. Systems being part of something greater universe.
Yes, after morning tea. So morning tea is on now. It is all gluten free. If we can come back around 10:45, or I think that's, well, around 10 to 15, 20 minutes, and come back in. When we do come back in, if you can turn your chairs around and face that wall, that would be really good. And we'll start with that. So this wall over here, or this corner of the wall over here, will be where we plot our agenda for the next few sessions until 3 o'clock, until afternoon tea. You don't have to be an expert to do this. It's really just this question or this issue matters to you. And creating this open space that we'll have will allow you to explore that question with people here today. Anybody who wants to come with you to explore that question can. But you take responsibility for leading the session today. When I go to workshops, you kind of think, oh, I should say that. Oh, damn, I should have said that first. I could have said that. Let's forget about that. Whatever happens in the open space session happens, and that's the only thing that could have been.
And I'm interested, while I've got a group of people who know about Foresight, to kind of explore the question a little bit about what is the relationship between quite active initiatives around permaculture and food production and changing energy systems and finance systems and foresight. So I'm a little bit interested in how systems thinking seems to be pervasive in both of those, and whether there's a relationship between theory and practice or something between those.
How do we get truly diverse groups discussing foresight and actually help them to get what they say out there?
A group of concerned alumni or concerned futurists or concerned graduates.
Okay. Now it's time for you to actually confirm what you want to do for the rest of the day until 3 o'clock. So come up, have a look, have a conversation with the conveners of the group if you want to try and convince them to change the time or to shift the time period that you want to run. There's a couple of spaces to the 11, but there are other little nooks and crannies as well. So come up, work out where you want to go for the next 3 sessions. Lunch is at 12:30, and we'll come back here into the room at 3 o'clock.
A couple of sad things. One is that they had high hopes for Copenhagen, and of course they weren't borne out. But still, remember the process that they kicked off with this film actually continues through at least 2 campaigns. One is called 10-10, reducing carbon emissions by 10% in 2010. The other one's called, significantly, Not Stupid. And there's a big campaign around Not Stupid. So this is really a kind of attention getter, a kickstarter to a whole series of other processes.
History is littered with the corpses of people who had stuff worth stealing. Animals. Water. Shiny things.
bits and pieces like that summary of war over history, for example, just to enliven and change the pace of things. But really what you're getting there are 7 different accounts of some of the impacts of current ways of life, of exploitation of oil, and the sense that this is building up to the unsustainable overshoot and collapse future that we all want to avoid.
Most changes have been, over time, have been more subtle changes. Not been all that many catastrophic or fundamental changes that have occurred. There've been smaller changes, and this is why we should be looking at stepwise changes and keeping the momentum going.
At the moment we're talking about a particular theme and issue around climate change, and I wonder whether the question is, how do you advance the foresight culture?
There are ideas that you can actually take away and maybe move into action with them in due course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure that the leads that belong in the projector stay with the projector.
I guess I've got this idea of there may be other people who are interested, and certainly for me, and it might just be the personal perspective, but it's thinking that somebody's interested in my view is terribly important. Not so much the question of whether I'm conforming, but what do I actually think and what am I feeling, and just hearing and listening to that. So being on this end of the camera for a moment, it feels like, hey, if this was on YouTube, maybe somebody would read it, or hear it I should say, and be more interested. So I think we all want to say something. So having that opportunity is really very good.
We know there's too much advertising, we know there's too much bad information and fear and things like this, but the only way it's going to change is if we produce more content than they do. So pick up your video camera, pick up your mobile phone, make a Facebook update that's actually inspiring to your friends as opposed to just talking about what you had for breakfast. Say to them, why are you consuming like this? Why are you polluting like this? Why are you traveling like this? Why are you spending 4 hours a day on transport? And then ask yourselves these questions, because this is what it means to be human, talking about things that matter as opposed to celebrity and sports. No other culture throughout time has idolized celebrity or sports like we do. Rome used to like the scholars and the artists and the thinkers. So what's happened to us? You can do it. Just pick up a camera. Record something, jump on YouTube, make a website. It's free, it's WordPress, it's MailChimp. Look on my website if you want to know how to do it. Or just find me and talk into the camera. But the point is, this is our revolution, right here and now. So be a part of it.
That's right. And I'd really say, don't tell us what you've done, tell us what you want to do, tell us what you want to see. Start getting those visions out there so that there's something else for the people to feed on all those steps. We can all look back as far as we like, but it's only going to blind us to what is coming straight towards us.
So charity in the past was about, you did good by by telling people what it is they needed to do. So, if you were going to deal with the poor, charities would deal with the poor by telling the poor the way they needed to live, whatever that was at whatever time that it happened. And then charities are moving from this idea of telling people what to do to empowering them to help them make decisions about how they want to live their lives. And to me, that's the journey aged care needs to go on, is from this, we know what's best and your day looks like this because that's how it fits our service, the model, and how we get our systems and all that thing, to actually, what does choice look like?
For all of the problems that you have with bureaucratic approaches, so the government just funding systems, and that's a pain. When you privatise a system, there's something that just never seems to come up for discussion, is that companies get into aged care as a business to make money. So how do they make a profit? Where is the money coming from that they make a profit so that they will privatise? What I can't get over, and something I can't answer, is that if there's so little money going in and they're still making a profit, it's no wonder that the facilities and stuff, that some of them are as bad as they are, because that's the system that we've created. I mean, the classic thing from systems theory, there's no such thing as a bad system. They operate exactly the way they're designed.
Right now, either as foresight or is there, you're all very clever about how to live in the modern world with the technology that's here today, you know, is there ways that you can sort of start to build pictures for people that give ownership into their input into the future?
So I'm working with a group that is doing workshops with the entire staff of their organisation as they lead up to creation of a new strategic plan next year. And the CEO is speaking at the beginning of each of the sessions, and then he's leading. There's no senior staff attending most of the workshops. And every time he says to the group, you know, that at the end of the day, the strategy is the least important part of what we're doing. It's everything that gets us there. And it's just like, oh my God, the process.
There are many ways of learning, both mind, heart and soul. I went and saw a practitioner called Otto Sharma, and he had a theory, but I was interested in how he taught the theory as an experience. And that's part of what the course is about, not just teaching at the level of head, but teaching also at the level of engagement and action.
Kieran, I think we're heading into the Alexander room for Peter's session.
Person who's doing the sculpture, go and find some stuff that you can start to build your sculpture with.
And the emerging future possibilities of your work and life.
Oh, that's changed.
And describe the steps that you're going through with me.
If you think, Kipling has actually
now.
You can read
That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I didn't even think of using the paper for drawing.
So there you go. So that's it.
What we just did was an exercise based on the work of Otto Sharma. Otto Sharma is the man who wrote the thing called Theory U. Theory U is a model about imagining the future, not based on downloading the past and patterns of the past, but truly using our human ability to imagine different futures. And that exercise we did was really one where we tried to suspend the brain and use the whole person to imagine the future.
That's the open space bit done. So I'll hand over to Barbara now, who's going to take us through another small closing process, and then Richard will follow and say some words. So thank you all very much for participating in that. All right, this section is a closing section. I'll tell you a bit about just the practicalities of it. It's basically to set up a time capsule, which is keep in mind that we're going to open this up in 10 years.
It's in the past we used to be isolated, insulated. We'd leave our workspace. We couldn't take it home.
And that's what the fortune, and that's what people want to go back to, the fortune.
Yeah.
I was very grateful for the conversations that we had today around great things that are happening, like community gardens and other things like that, local projects. Just wanted to. The people start walking around and relaxing. Notice there are other people around you. Just mull around, just walk around. There are other people around you. Notice other people. Start thinking. This is the end of today. You're going to go back out there into this world. This is the end of this time today. And you're getting ready to go back out there and be part of whatever it is that you're doing out there in the world. Notice people around you. You're not alone in this.
Had an awesome time.
Yeah?
It's good. Yeah, really
Great time? Good?
Good time?
Yeah.
Good to meet new people.
I think we enjoyed a great day with the Strategic Foresight Masters Program and celebrating 10 years.
It's been great.
It's been terrific.
Bye.
Bye.